Wow, and once again, look at all of these pets that are not mine. I really love the gargoyle boss pet. I don't remember what it's called, the twins or whatever, but I also really like the armadillo pet too. But look at all these freaking rare level things that I'll never ever have. Anyway, boys and girls, welcome back to Old School RuneScape. How you guys doing? You guys are doing good, and we're fishing for monkfish, so you know it's time to talk about updates because I don't want to do anything else that I can potentially die doing. Get out of here, Captain Arnav. Don't have time for you. Today we're gonna talk about how they're potentially, well, actually they did do this. This has happened already, but in case you didn't know, like you don't read the news posts or you don't follow Jagex's Twitter, which you should probably do because they announce all kinds of crazy stuff all the time, like when things are coming out and like giveaways. Anyway. They have basically nerfed the Revenant caves, or are going to do so very soon with more things. Basically, this whole thing sums up to clans, and if you're unfamiliar, Revenant caves, which is an area in the wilderness, which have the Revenant creatures inside of it, obviously, and it is very, very dangerous, very a hot spot for PKers. But the Revenant enemies drop like super, super high loot worth tons of money all the time, like frequently rare drops. People go to the Rev caves and make millions like within like minutes. It's just it's like a but it's just you're dead all the time as soon as you get there, and people will hire clans essentially, or certain groups to protect them while they go to these rev caves and just make bank. And they have like their group like killing anybody who enters and kind of like holding down a world, and people pay like real money for this. So this has been a real problem for a long time, and Jagex essentially has no idea how to solve this. But today's update, well, actually it was last week's update, but I'm just getting around to it because I'm behind. I'm sorry. Let me switch to the screen here. So they talked about basically how they wanted to offer insight because they did a small update to it like last month-ish in August, where they reduced the Ethereum bracelet, the damage reduction effect, which was like the most sought after thing in the Rev caves. They lowered the value of it basically just to kind of balance things out. But it's funny right here. They said they wanted to reiterate that they'll make content changes necessary, but they don't know. They're looking for the perfect solution. So basically, they have no idea what they want to do, and they're going to ask us in a poll what they think would be best for the game. They like to get our opinions, and half the time, as of right now, even down here somewhere, it says that worst case, they'll do it in an unpolled integrity change. So if that's what needs to be done, like if they throw things out to us and we're like, no, that's garbage, but Jagex already has like, that's what they're going to do, they're going to do it anyway no matter what. Because this is a big deal that I don't think many people understand just how, because it's affecting the economy a lot also, but mostly it's affecting, obviously that's not what Jagex intended for the Revenant caves to begin with, was to be literally locked out. Like people cannot do this. Like if you go there, it's just essentially suicide unless you're paying literal real world dollars for this protection, essentially from the RuneScape mafia, believe it or not. So I think that's just hilarious. But they, if we go back to the patch notes here, they if I could get freaking OBS out of the way, move, dude. They're taking a lot of suggestions. They kind of go over some of the because they say right here they're still in the data gathering stage. AKA polling us on Twitter for what we think is a good way to implement changes to the content here, because like they say right here, the amount of gold farming associated with this content, including things like bans and real world traders, it's just out of this world. So apparently roaming revenants, which has been in that's a pretty big suggestion, having them not just locked down into one cave, essentially kind of going around the wilderness. They still obviously could be locked down, especially if PKers are advanced and know the wilderness like the back of their hands, because they're still going to be able to get, because you can get through the wilderness pretty quickly if you know what you're doing. If you've watched any of my videos, you know this. I hate that content. I'm not a big fan of the PvP aspect because it's not what I play the game for, I'm not into it to murder other people for, it wouldn't even matter anyway because I'm an Iron Man, so I can't get their loot anyway, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just humble bragging. So that was something they talked about, but they don't know, like I said, they don't know if it's going to be a permanent solution because they can still be locked down to a point. If they happen on rotation, they might be able to, kind of like the what's the place in Corinth, the Port Piscarilius, the organized crime thing where you like steal the loot from like a random house and take it back. It kind of works like that apparently, but I don't know. They also were talking about just remapping the caves in general, just like making it more, because if you get in there's only like one way in, I think. So you can basically just like hold down that entrance and no one can get in or out. So they're kind of thinking about maybe taking another approach and maybe like adding another exit way or teleport out. I don't know. They could just change the bracelet in general, which would just remove the item essentially and screw up the whole economy. And that's like the biggest part of the or the biggest issue rather, I think, is that anything they do here, because the Revenant caves have been part of old school RuneScape for as long as I can remember, at least, or at least since they brought it back. And I feel like changing anything now is going to mess up something no matter what. I don't think there's any way that they can go about this without making someone angry, or, oh my gosh, these guys are just flexing these pets in front of me constantly and it just makes me want to cry. There's just so many ways that this could go wrong, kind of similar to how they were trying to tackle PvP with Bounty Hunter, what they were going to do with all that. They essentially just ended up removing it from the game because they couldn't no one could come to terms with like a permanent solution that the players were happy with and that Jagex was happy with. Jagex had ideas. We hated them. We had ideas. Jagex was like, nah, fam, we made the game. So what are you going to do, I guess? But this is different, I think, because this is like a very big deal. People were farming bounty hunter kills, but that only affected a small amount of like things, you know? The Revenant Caves is a very highly populated area. Like any time of the day, peak time, off time, anything, there's going to be a clan there, and it's going to be impossible for you to do anything unless you have a clan. Like if you're a Twitch streamer, like I know Curtis or MMORPG, he like has his Twitch followers protect him while he's in there. He did that for quite a while, trying to get the one of those items. I don't even know the freaking things because I'm never going to go there. But so I know like people do that, even if it's not paying a clan like all these guys are doing, and that's the whole issue here. It's just not what Jagex had intended for the content, I guess. Let me switch back here one more time. So if we look down here, so they were talking about just banning clans from locking down areas, which is like I was kind of talking about. That's the main issue. But that would just be kind of like, because they talk about like Albion and Eve and how they kind of like a sort of emerging world of PvP gameplay, not just like how RuneScape is essentially 50-50. They have 50% the wilderness and like, you know, PvP, and then other 50% PvMing, single player, adventuring, exploring, you know, the good part. They even mentioned just deleting the Rev Caves in general, but like I said, that kind of just defeats the purpose, or not defeating the purpose, but more so it's going to have a bad outcome either way, because that would just get rid of, like, what would they do with all the items? They are very against having discontinued items, because that was the whole deal with, like, party hats, Santa hats, all those things from actual 2007 RuneScape. You know, they're worth like billions now, but that they just made everything tradable because they didn't want anyone to not have a chance, and all those things never passed the poll. Did I switch back to the... I didn't. Oops. There we go. So they don't want to do that at all because they're very against, and we were very against not having a chance to ever get an item anymore. Like, that was the whole thing with the Twisted League rewards, how people were upset that you couldn't get them again, but you can now with, like, the next league coming up. You can get those points and use them on the previous league. So nothing is truly ever unobtainable. So that's not going to happen. They even mentioned a task-only Revenant cave for like Slayer. I don't know how that would work. I didn't know you could actually get assigned Revenants, but they're not ruling it out, they say. But again, that's not going to really solve the problem, because you could still, you know, if people have thousands upon thousands of Slayer points banked, and they can just only do Revenant tasks forever, or have like their group of friends do the same thing. So I don't know what they're gonna do. Similar to PvP and Bounty Hunter, I don't see a way that they get out of this, fixing this, without making someone angry. And if you are on Twitter and you follow Old School RuneScape Twitter, you'll see how salty the PvPers get, because Jagex never caters to them apparently. But the wilderness is going through, like, I don't know if you remember, but back when 2007 was going, like, it was the live game, they actually got rid of the wilderness at one point, and people were really upset, so they brought it back and then rejuvenated it, and that's what these Rev Caves were, that's where they came to be. So it's funny that they've lasted this long and now they're gonna potentially get rid of them again. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do. I know they're gonna figure it out. There's a lot of smart people down there, so I'm sure they're gonna figure it out. They make good content, good updates most of the time. Mahogany homes. So that's interesting. What do you guys think? I think that something is gonna be nerfed one way or the other. If it's they'll figure it out. I don't think they'll just delete the whole cave system, but maybe if it gets drastic enough. They did it to Bounty Hunter. Why would they not do it to the Rev Cave? So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. This was just kind of a little... I wanted to talk about it because this being nerfed potentially looks very plausible. I want to know what you guys think. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of upset people, so let me know. Leave me a like, subscribe if you want. We just passed 200 subscribers. I got to do those milestones soon. I got to get the... if you don't know, my subscriber goal for 200 was to finish the Easy and Medium Achievement Diaries on my Hardcore Iron Man. Very spicy diaries left to do, so that's going to be entertaining. Probably going to die and then probably cry live on camera, so you're not going to want to miss that. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys very soon, and thank you for being patient with me. Hopefully daily uploads should be back by now, if not very, very soon. So thank you guys again. I will see you very soon, but until then, boys and girls, bye!